Okay, y'all, so get into this drama real quick because some fresh allegations are coming out that Jay Z is allegedly being used by his labels as a front for trafficking women. If y'all thought that the situation with Diddy was bad enough, y'all are going to be surprised to learn some of the incredible, sinister stories that just came to light. According to new reports, there was a long list of women who were allegedly trafficked by Jay Z, and some of them are well-known women, including allegedly Rihanna, Tiara Marie, singer Amil, and so many more. Y'all remember those rumors about how Jay Z and Rihanna had an affair, right? And Rihanna's publicist had to come out and claim that he made the whole thing up for publicity? Well, the same publicist is now coming out to tell the full story, and y'all will not believe the insane stories he has to tell. Did Jay Z really pay Rihanna's father $500,000 for Rihanna? And did he really pass Tiara Marie around the industry before she turned legal? Let's talk about it. Now, the nature of Rihanna's real relationship with Jay Z is something that people have been talking about for a long time, and the rumors have always remained strong as F. Rihanna got into the industry when she was just a teenager, and Jay Z was her mentor. Of course, they went on to achieve great things, and Rihanna even won her first Grammy with Jay Z.
Grammy goes to Rihanna featuring Jay Z for Umbrella!
She didn't take it for granted because she was super grateful for these opportunities that she had been given.
Working with Jay and having a collaboration with him is just one of those things that everyone dreams to do in their musical career. And here I am at 19 years old with a #1 single and featuring Jay Z. It's just, I can't fathom it sometimes. It's just too much for me it's overwhelming sometimes.
However, rumors started to circulate that Jay Z and Rihanna secretly had something going on, even though he was married to Beyonce at the time. At first, people didn't pay a lot of attention to it because you guys know how fake rumors make rounds in the industry all the time. However, the rumors didn't go away. Instead, they got stronger by the day. The next thing we knew, her publicist Jonathan Haye came forward to take blame for the rumors, claiming that he was just chasing clout. He said, "The PR stunt that I did was out of desperation to help break Pon de Replay." He wrote, "It was reckless and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. I didn't think it would be this big story. But now, knowing that people are profiting from speculations and opinions about her really turns my stomach. I'm ashamed that I'm even talking about this. I just want to put this rumor to rest once and for all." Now, we believed him at the time because publicists are known to plan publicity stunts all the time. So we thought that was the situation, but it didn't take long for some shady business to start, and this time it was when Rihanna talked about how she came to be signed to Jay Z. Now everybody knows the story behind this, or at least we know the brushed up version of what was told to us. From what we know now, the real truth is more sinister than we could ever imagine. So Rihanna grew up in Barbados, you guys know that, right? Well, through a stroke of fate, she caught the attention of a music exec who was on vacation, and she got flued out to perform with L.A. Reid and Jay Z in the US, all alone. This would have raised some real flags, but for some reason people never sat down to think about that. Rihanna, who was only 16, meant that she should have been accompanied by a parent or guardian, but allegedly she wasn't. Even more, she was kept waiting in the offices until 3 a.m. because Jay Z was reportedly under strict orders to sign her at all costs. Now, I don't know about you all, but it definitely seems weird to me to keep a 16-year-old child in the office until 3 a.m. In an interview, Rihanna revealed that Jay Z threatened to throw her out of a window of his 27th floor office if she refused to sign.
So nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Pon de Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, "We don't sing songs here, we sing artists." And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, "And we're interested." And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, you did it whole
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with Jay Z, you've met Beyonce.
That's right.
Intimidating a 16-year-old at 3 in the morning is definitely nasty work, and also is forcing her to sign a contract with threats. And speaking of signing a contract, it's still unclear whether or not it was even legal for Jay Z to do it. See, Rihanna was a minor at the time, and minors usually aren't able to sign legally anything binding, especially a contract, if there is no parent or guardian there. Y'all, they're saying she didn't even have a lawyer on hand to protect her interests, so she could have been signing her life away for all she knew, and might have. And according to these new reports, she basically did. Jaguar Wright was one of the first people to raise this alarm because she claimed that Jay Z allegedly trafficked Rihanna from Barbados, using his label as a cover. She then went on to claim that Jay Z allegedly paid Rihanna's father $500,000 when she got to the US.
We discovered Rihanna at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel on the island where she comes from, with no parental supervision. And then she was put on a private plane from one country to another without parental supervision. And she ended up in a boardroom with Mr. Carter without parental supervision. Y'all got young children. Would you just let your daughter leave and go to a whole other country with some you don't know?
Absolutely not.
Doing talent shows at 3 a.m.
So you're saying that the rumors are true. There are rumors circulating that Rihanna was actually trafficked here. Are you saying that
Starting to
that's...
sound that way, don't it? Because her daddy ain't show up till 24 hours later to pick up a $500,000 check for his daughter's ass. Maybe we should look more into that album Anti. That album cover was disturbing. A child bride with a crown over her head and blood smeared on her face. I don't know. How don't people see SOSs anymore?
Now this is just screaming red flags and shades of crazy. But why on earth would Jay Z pay Rihanna's father that much money? The pieces of the puzzle are starting to line up when you remember that Rihanna revealed that her father was violent towards her and her mom, and he would often hurt them physically. According to Jaguar, her father allegedly sold her to Jay Z to be trafficked, and her publicist kind of spilled that same tea. But even before we get to what the publicist has to say, let's talk about how Jaguar Wright has also claimed that Jay Z would allegedly pimp Rihanna out to other men in the industry, forcing her to give mouth action to them at industry events. According to Jaguar, this was one of the incidents that triggered Chris to put hands on Rihanna back in 2009.
Ain't innocent. Cause she was in there giving that job in the coat closet when Chris Brown came in. He said, "Oh, it's sucking." Then he said, "I'm done with you," and he stormed out of Clive Davis's house, got into his very expensive car, and Rihanna chased after him. She gets in the car and started fighting on him because he embarrassed her for calling her a fucking and saying in front of everybody that she gave him the herpes at Clive Davis's house the night before the Grammys.
This is some nasty work, and it kind of explains why Riri might not have wanted to do music anymore, because she had done a lot of crazy stuff in the time doing it. And y'all, the streets are saying that Rihanna wasn't even the first woman that Jay Z allegedly trafficked, using his label as a cover, because he also has allegedly been doing so for a long time, way before Rihanna. According to reports, even more women were involved, like former Rockefeller artist Amil Whitehead. For those who might have forgotten about Amil, she was the first female to sign to Rockefeller Records, and she even joined Jay Z on his Hard Knock Life tour. Now y'all know crazy things can happen on rappers' tours, and I don't want to spell it all out, but drugs, booze, women, stuff like that. Allegedly, while they were on the road together, Jay Z would force Amil to do some things to him, as well as other men who were on tour, because he liked watching. Allegedly, what adds a sinister twist to this tale is that Jay Z had Amil working with Beyonce in the studio, while he allegedly carried on his shenanigans with Amil behind the scenes. If true, definitely is some shady stuff. It remains unclear when or why the affair ended, but from the sound of it, Amil might not have much to say in the matter because she was allegedly dumped by Jay Z and his friends got tired of using her as his plaything. In a 2011 interview, she still seemed to harbor feelings for Jay Z, suggesting that the relationship didn't end on her terms. She said, "I haven't spoken to Jay in years, but I really wish I could talk to him because that would just really bring closure to me. But he knows I love him." She says, "People think there was bad blood between us, but there never was any bad blood. Things happened and I wasn't ready for where my career was going at the time. It was really overwhelming." By things, I think we all know what she probably meant. The streets are now saying that not only did Jay Z drop Amil as an artist after using her, but the reason Amil's career didn't take off is because, wait for it, Jay Z. Allegedly. But that's not all, because y'all remember the singer Tiara Marie, right? Yeah, the streets are saying that she was also trafficked while she was still in high school. Just like Rihanna, Tiara didn't have 16 candles yet on her birthday cake when this happened, if you know what I mean. You might know Tiara Marie from Love and Hip Hop, but before she was on Love and Hip Hop, she had a promising career in the music industry and was even signed to the major label Def Jam. And you want to guess who signed her? Jay Z, that's who. At this point, do we need to have a conversation about Jay Z signing young girls to his label? Because it kinda is sus. He clearly had a soft spot for Tiara Marie, even dubbing her the Princess of the Rock, showering her with all kinds of compliments.
Let's talk about some of the artists. Tiara Marie.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's the first lady of the rock.
She's the princess.
But on the night of her prom, Jay Z randomly decided to act up and drop her from the label without a warning or a heads up or anything like that. Tiara went from label royalty to label dropout. Jay Z gave her an excuse about how her debut album flopped and didn't perform up to expectations, but it didn't make sense because it sold the exact same number as Rihanna's debut album and even charted higher. Rihanna wasn't dropped, which suggested that there was something else going on with Tiara Marie. Well, the streets are now saying that just like Rihanna and Amil, Tiara was also allegedly trafficked, using the label as a cover. But according to a blind item, it was none other than L.A. Reid, who allegedly started this tangled web by allegedly having an affair with Tiara Marie. Then he allegedly passed her like a baton to Ray J, who in turn allegedly handed her off to Jay Z.
Or Aaliyah was SA'd as a minor by several producers and was treated like a piece of meat to be bought and sold by different producers up until the time that she passed away. A couple of years after she passed away, a fairly large record producer started making some calls about a singer he had working out of his studio. She was 15 and eager, and soon different label heads were scouting her. And this is allegedly Tiara Marie. Soon, she was sold to this pseudo corn star and celebrity sibling. You can also take a guess at that one. He loves controlling vulnerable women. It is his specialty. Anyway, he started controlling the career of this singer. He brought her to the attention of this A+ list rapper and mogul, allegedly Jay Z.
Reports went on to claim that Beyonce allegedly caught wind of this alleged affair, and she was not having it. Word on the streets is that she demanded Jay Z cut Tiara off completely.
And he signed her to a deal. By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal. But that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A+ list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly be Beyonce. The thing is, though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A+ lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label. When someone ignored the edict, they were paid a visit. If the visits were ignored, then other steps were taken. This was a total lockdown of a career that lasted almost a decade.
This situation is absolutely messy, and fans are now giving Jay Z a stink eye all over again. The crazy part is that the drama would have been remained hidden, But a recent documentary into the sudden and mysterious death of Jay Z's mistress, Kathy White, recently had people talking again. Rihanna's former publicist spoke up, and the drama snowballed from there. Now, for those of you who don't know who Kathy White is, she was Jay Z's mistress, who was reported to be pregnant at the time that Beyonce was pregnant with Blue Ivy. And according to reports, Kathy refused to get a termination. She was going to go public with her affair, which would have been a major scandal. But the next thing we knew, she suddenly passed away from a brain aneurysm. Journalist Claudia Jordan delved deeper into the investigation, unearthing shocking revelations. She wrote, "According to an NYPD detective who told me, Kathy's cause of death is uncertain. And later today, we will have the autopsy and toxicology reports. Right now, the death is considered suspicious." She continued, "A 911 call came in from an apartment on 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. An ambulance came and took Kathy because she was sick. They took her to the Beth Israel Hospital, and that's where she expired. It was too early to be speculating that an aneurysm killed her. They will be doing an autopsy later today to check out the cause of her death, but someone might have given Kathy a bad so they'll do a toxicology, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that report." Now remember Kathy's plan was to spill the tea to a journalist before her untimely demise. Well, the journalist has now stepped forward. Her name is Liz Kroen, and let me tell you, the details she shared are chilling to the bone. It's like something out of a horror film, and it makes you question just how deep this rabbit hole goes. In a new article she wrote about the case, she said, "Years later, I met sources who knew both Jay Z, Kathy, and inside information on her death. They strongly believe Jay Z had her to silence her. One source told me Jay Z had law enforcement and even coroners in his back pocket. The source also said that there are corrupt coroners in New York City who will rule as natural deaths for cash." She continued, "In 2020, Crazy Days and Nights reported this. The A-list host model is also an actress. Our host has always stayed quiet about the death of their friend, but has become more convinced over the years that the permanent A+ list rapper had her friend. It just seemed too convenient that he wanted her out of the picture, and shortly after he said that, the friend ended up dead. The blind item later revealed the A-list host was Claudia Jordan, the rapper was Jay Z, and Claudia's friend was Kathy." But Liz Kroen didn't stop there, because she also drew parallels between Jay Z and his best friend Diddy, and how they both treated women badly. She wrote, "Diddy, who hung out with Jay Z when he was with Kathy, has also been accused of getting rid of his ex-girlfriend Kim Porter, who also died under suspicious circumstances. Kim's baby daddy, Albie Shore, has suggested she was murdered. According to Radar, Jaguar Wright has also said she absolutely believes, without hesitation, Diddy had something to do with Kim's death. This is a hot mess, y'all. With the allegations of trafficking and Jay Z allegedly unaliving his mistress, it's easy to see why he and Diddy would be best friends." After the documentary about Kathy's death aired, Rihanna's former publicist Jonathan Haye stepped into the drama, and he had a lot to say. He said, "It's time for me to finally set the record straight once and for all, as it's way beyond shocking, messy, and just flat out crazy as F. Prepare to be blown away, as what I have been through over the years involving this historical scandal that needs to be put to bed for good. Yes, heads are going to roll, and people will be floored, but the truth needs to be revealed." According to him, when he put out that he believed the fake rumors about Jay Z and Rihanna, he was taken in by the feds and interrogated because they had been investigating Jay Z for trafficking. "One day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped me. These intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force, and they requested to speak with me. So I followed them to talk, and I was in a complete state of panic. As I sat in the desolate makeshift interrogation room, the gravity of the situation became clear to me. They mentioned that they had been keeping a close watch on Jay Z since he Lance Un Rivera, and he was also being implicated in an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour, promoting Jay Z and R. Kelly's joint album. The officers clarified that they were investigating Jay Z for allegedly engaging in intimate activity with underage Rihanna and transporting her across international borders. They said she wasn't the only one and there were many others. He added, "No one benefits from reckless ambition," he says. The interrogation was a brutal reality check. However, looking back now, there are some serious red flags, as Jay Z was once very close to R. Kelly, and they have 2 collaborative albums. They have like 30 songs together, and they have toured together. As we all know, Jay Z has also been extremely close to Diddy for several decades, so it's not very hard to come to some of the conclusions that Trap Lori Ross and Jaguar Wright have come to with Jay Z. It's insane that this is even happening, you guys, and like I said, we need to have a conversation about why Jay Z loves to sign young women to his label, and many of them having to leave their families and come to him alone while he supposedly takes them under his wing. It's sus as F, and if the feds were investigating him, you better know that it has to do with some very serious business. Fans commented, when Maya and Jay did Best of Me, he propositioned her and she felt pressured to have sex with him and didn't. Her career was never the same after. It seems like a pattern when working with attractive females. Foxy, Aaliyah, Maya, Amil, Free, and Blue Cantrell. We need a surviving Carter. Jay also messed with Foxy around the time their song came out, and Foxy recorded that when she was 14. Jay and Kelly were tight, and Dame had problems with that because of R. Kelly and Aaliyah. So yeah, Jay-Z had several young girls under 16 that he messed with. Jay-Z had Tiara Marie, Rihanna, Beyonce, possibly Aaliyah, and more. They were all underage girls. Amil has a story in Saw Things, and maybe this is the right time to come forward because of the Diddy Cassie. And people, I believe, aren't as afraid to speak up and speak out. Kat said 2024 was going to be the year of exposure. Y'all, this situation is getting crazier by the day, but I gotta know what you feel about it. Do you really think that Jay-Z's involved with this kind of stuff? Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video.